Hey guys, what's going on? This is Rick, the Middle Class Millennial, bringing you guys part 4 of this installment where we're going to be putting drywall on the ceiling and the walls. Mudding and stuff will be for another video. However, before we get started, quick disclaimer. This video series is for entertainment purposes only. The stuff that you see in this video may or may not be up to code in your area. So please consult the local laws and codes in your area and get the necessary work permits to do those jobs if required in your area. Now on with the video. All right, quick overview of what you guys missed between the two parts here. I went ahead and put a first layer of drywall on this surface here. I'm gonna be putting 1/2 inch above this. This is 5/8 to finally coat this up. So this will be a double cake layer. But I went ahead and did this real quick just because I need a hard surface before on the other side is just plaster. So I wanna make sure to get that cleaned up. Also, when we're doing the drywall install, you want to get yourself a lift. You can rent these. This one's pretty crude, in my opinion, a lot more crude than the ones you would rent. But this was given to me free by somebody I know. At least for a while, I can have it for a couple months. It's a lot cheaper than me renting something for a couple months. So we're going to go ahead and have to work with this crude lift. But keep in mind, there are a lot nicer drywall lifts than this. But this is what we're going to be working with. And we're going to be starting up in this corner here and working our way out. And we're going to go in a line like this pattern. This is going to be an interesting install because my 2x6s aren't always square parallel going this way. So we're going to be doing a lot of pain in the butt cuts, if you know what I mean, trying to get this put in here. So we're going to see how that goes. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started. Sorry, I forgot to film this real quick, but I already got it set up in a position. As you can see, I got it cut out here. But just noticing, it's definitely not square. As you can see, we're kind of shoving really far to the wall here. It's open down there. And up here, here's the 2x6. Worst case scenario, I may cut off material here so I can line up the other chunk of drywall next to it. We're gonna find out here, but what I'm gonna go ahead and do first is screw this side down into position, leave this open here, and we'll deal with this once I lower the lift. All right, I went ahead and I screwed in all the screws here, except right over here, because I'm probably gonna have to cut a little bit off the end there to get the other drywall so they can share the same 2x6. I can get some meat on both sides. But I'm gonna try lowering this thing without it killing me. We're gonna see how this goes. Gotta say, this thing is spooky. Okay, there we go. Keep in mind, guys, your rental won't be near as crude. I'm just saying. There you go. You want to hang on to the crank because it'll go spinning like crazy, like you can see right here. Oh, never mind. It's down all the way now. Definitely not what they make it out to be. As you can see, I kind of screwed up a little bit, but it's still better than my last cut with the handsaw. I was worried about cutting the plastic box, but one thing to keep note with a rotor zip is the dust in here is horrendously bad. You get a lot more dust in here using that tool than you do just the normal drywall saw. So just keep that in mind when you guys are using this. All right, time to get started on the wall. So I'm gonna go ahead and measure 4 feet down. I'm gonna go ahead, I already marked it. I'm gonna put a brace either here or here. Let's see here. Cut the end of this off first too. You can see it's kind of rotten on the end. Let me see here. 6 feet. We're looking at here. Trying a different tool pouch this time. This one was from a family member of mine that's retired, no longer using it. I already like it better than that other shoulders type. But let's see here. So 57 and a half. Now, since I don't do this for a living, I have to learn to be efficient. And I'm not efficient at all when it comes to timing, especially filming a video and doing this. But we're getting the hang of it here, so that's the good news. So let's see here. Not bad. First time I've done that not on a sawhorse before, so that's pretty cool. Shouldn't have put this edge up against the walls of butt showing. I should have had the factory edge done, but that's okay. We'll take our key hole saw and clean it up here. Gonna line up. And it's roughly gonna line up, and it kind of goes out as you go up. So we'll see how it goes. All right, here comes the fun part. We're gonna try to lift this hooking thing up there. This one isn't that bad, so it's not the full length here, but we're gonna find out. 5/8 sucks. Lifting this, God almighty. It's definitely something you want to have a helper doing for you. It's actually snug. I didn't even need to use this. It's pretty snug in there. Haven't got enough meat on the studs there, it looks like. All right, I got my first sheet of wall drywall up. I've been having some issues with the drywall screw gun. Ideally, it'll press in the paper just like this, just enough without breaking it to where I can mud over it. However, what I've been having an issue with is it'll make this horrible grinding noise sometimes. Like I said, sometimes it'll go straight in like it's supposed to, and boom, and it's done. Other times it'll make that horrible grinding noise, and it'll stop turning and won't go in all the way and stay out like this. So, and if I push too hard, it'll punch through the paper. So I don't know what the deal is. I don't know if it's a bad connection. I did check the bit. It seems to be snug in here, but it seems to be grinding as if it's not connecting internally to it. I don't know what the deal is. For you drywall contractors out here that do this for a living every day, let me know in the comments below. Do you think there's something wrong with the screw gun itself or me as the user? I'm still going to continue to use it and try to see if it's something I'm doing. Because, yeah, sometimes I'm able to get it just where it goes, boop, and it goes right in like it's supposed to. So let me know in the comments below. Like I said, guys, this is one of the reasons I'm doing this series. I'm trying to give people out there the perspective of somebody that's not a contractor, trying to do the best job they can possible on stuff like this. So please, by all means, let me know in the comments below, especially drywall contractors out there. Let me know if I'm not using that tool correctly or not, or if you guys think there's something wrong with it. Thanks. This time, I'm going to go ahead and fix these holes here with the Dempler bit real quick before we move on to the next sheet. All right, now that I got all that secure, here comes the tough part. We have to clear some obstacles. I'm going to have to turn off the breaker for the heater and the light circuit, pull the panels off and the switches out so I don't cut them with the rotozip, and go ahead and cut this to size. When it comes around the door, you can see we don't have a lot of space up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put the drywall as flush as I can with the door frame itself all the way down, and then on this side I'm going to cut chunks out and do the same thing here for this corner. And then last but not least, up here I'm probably just going to trim it in. As you can see, it's not level. See how it's low on that side and high up? I'm thinking we'll just probably stick a trim piece in here, like quarter round or something like that, when the time comes. But in the meantime, I'm just going to get it flush with this door right here. Keep in mind, guys, this is a garage. It doesn't necessarily need to be real pretty, but I am going to try to at least make it look passable for garage standards. As you can see, the rotosip did a decent job. Obviously, it depends on the skill of the user. As you can see, first time doing it didn't do too well. Second time I was able to grab around it and did fairly decent. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to lower this wood here. It's a little too high, so if I lower it down a hair, it should be good. All right, to let you all know, I ended up picking up a different drywall screw gun. I returned the other rigid for this DeWalt, and so far it's been working a lot better, so we're going to go ahead and use it on this sheet of drywall here. Well, I was able to get it figured out. Definitely requires a skill of the user over anything else, but I thought this drill functioned a lot better than the rigid did. I didn't really have that many issues aside from you just got to make sure you have it coming in straight or it doesn't seal correctly. So I'm going to have to go through and fix all these screws, but the more I get familiar with this tool, I think the better I'm going to be at using it and not having all these mistakes. All right, so I went ahead and I installed the drywall on both sides of the garage here. Unfortunately, I made a mistake, ladies and gentlemen. I forgot to run the wires for the garage door opener down the road. I got 2 wires for the sensors down below there. As you can see, I have them popping out both sides, and I have the wire for the opener. Unfortunately, I already had the drywall up in the air, so I ended up shoving the garage wire in between the gaps here, as you can see, way up in here to the drywall. I had to make some cuts, run it all the way down to where our opener is going to be right here. On the far side, same kind of deal, except I didn't have this part installed just yet, and you can see it's up in here. Comes out through a small hole there, and comes out through a small hole there. So one mistake a DIYer made today. Well, there's been many, but that's one of them. Remember to route all your wires first before you put the drywall up. I thought I did, and I thought, oh crap, I need to put up the garage door opener wire. So anyway, next up, I got some 1/2 inch in here. We're going to 1/2 inch the beams here that hold up the garage roof along here first, top and bottom. And then next up, we're going to go ahead and put 1/2 inch over this 5/8 section I did here and finally encapsulate this for good. Over here, we're then going to install 5/8 here, 5/8 drywall right here. I don't have enough foam boards, so I'm going to pick some more up, but I'm going to cut it out to fit in these grooves here. We'll get that done. And then last but not least, we'll be doing the windows side. Since my windows aren't going to be in for a few weeks, I had to custom order them, so we'll be doing that last. All right, next up, when it comes to the walls, we're going to cover this door with 5/8 drywall. As you can see, I already actually insulated behind the door originally, but they had these little inverted panels that you probably saw in my last video. I went ahead and glued 1/2 inch foam board in there, put spray foam around it, and cut it nice and flush with the door. So we're going to go ahead and get started. My first sheet is going to come up to here, which is kind of be a nuisance around the electrical box. So I'm going to go ahead and move it up a foot and just cut a small 1-foot segment down below here. And we'll go and we'll do the top section last. I gotta say, I hate how heavy 5/8 is. 5/8 drywall is. It's horrible. There we go. Let's get screwed with her. All right, I went ahead and changed out the bit on my RotoZip with a special drywall cutting edge. It's got a little soft tip right here, so it won't cut the plastic box behind the paper. I already have the depth meter set. We're going to go ahead and cut this box out. My first decent cut, as you guys can see, aside from the lip at the top, but I'll fill that in with some spray foam and mud. But yeah, so far so good. I'm liking the RotoZip tool, but it definitely depends on the skill of the user. So overall, I gotta say, this project definitely turned out pretty rocky for me. Keep in mind, this was the first drywall installation I've ever done. I've done patching of drywall before in the past. I've cut out chunks and done small projects, but I've never done it on this scale before. This definitely was a learning curve for me, and I wanna make the statement really clear to you guys, ladies and gentlemen. One of the reasons I'm making this video series is, as somebody that's handy, but not a licensed contractor, I will tell you this is a lot harder than it looks. Any of the stuff you see on YouTube, TV, internet, wherever, it's not as easy as it looks. And the reason I say that is knowing how it's done is one thing, but actually practicing it is something else. I'd say doing this drywall installation was kind of like golf for me, okay? Golf's easy to understand. It seems black and white, but it takes a little bit of practice and skill to really get that fine-tuned and not only getting it done in a timely manner, but also not making mistakes. As you're gonna see in the next part that I release, we're gonna be doing the mudding and taping. There were quite a few mistakes that I did in this install. One in particular was just how unsquare the building is here. The more unsquare it is, the more of a pain in the butt it's gonna be for you. And I anticipated that when I got started, but I didn't realize as I continued further and further in the project that the dimensions being out of the whack just gets amplified worse and worse with time the further you go into the project, and you're kind of being forced to do weird stuff. I could have done strapping on the ceiling, but unfortunately I didn't have the headspace. You could see my door ends where that drywall's at. I couldn't really bring the ceiling down any lower. That might have made my ceiling install a little bit easier. So just be forewarned, if you guys are tackling a drywall project for the first time, and I'm talking to you guys out there that have never done this before like me, okay? Expect it to take longer than you anticipate, okay? It's gonna be a while, and expect it to be difficult. Expect there to be a lot of cursing and swearing and a bunch of stuff that you don't like dealing with, okay? But if you're doing something like a garage, it's not really a cosmetic issue. It's not that big of a deal. If you're planning on doing something else, which I will release later, I am doing a basement project down the road. I wanted to practice my drywall skills here first before I go and do an actual living space, okay? So for me, this was a very good learning experience. I don't regret doing it, but I do want to share with you guys the frustration that I had during this project. So hope you guys enjoyed watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, you guys, take care.